dreams. We are strong, we are true, yeah, me and you. Oh, we're red, white, and blue. We're red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. We're red, white, and blue.
All right, everybody. It is Red Friday. I am wearing my red. My guest is wearing his red as well, and we're going to talk about him in just a second here. Welcome, everybody. We're all fat and happy still from Thanksgiving, going into the Christmas season now. I got in the Christmas spirit today, finally. But I'll tell you what, I got a buddy that's joined us on the show here. He is he's a shareholder in Armed Forces Brewing Company, but you're going to know him because he is a reality TV star. You've seen him on Naked and Afraid, Dual Survival, First Man Out, Fox News, Good Morning America, CNN, you name it, he's been on it. He's the number one survival expert in the United States of America.
The world.
The world. Thank you. There you go. And this is he's a veteran. He's going to talk about his service here as well during the show. And he was right. He lives in North Carolina. So when Hurricane Helene hit, one of the first people up there was our guest, EJ Snyder, everybody. Yeah, EJ. What's going on?
Yeah, let's go. Red Friday. Remember them all. The United States of America, the U.S. Army, and all the other military services. We've been taking care of business since 1776. Let's go. Yeah.
So not only that, you're a business owner. You've got multiple businesses, but you've launched a new one we're going to talk about here today on the show as well. I'm getting set up here because I want to make sure we can get to everybody's comments and questions out on social media.
Yeah.
EJ. So let's kick it off because let's talk about your service in the Army because you're a skull crusher. And tell everybody what a skull crusher is.
Well, most people refer to folks as pipe hitters, and everyone out there knows what a pipe hitter is. A door kicker. That's what I did. I mean, I came in the Army at 19 years old. I turned 19 today, came in. I was always patriotic. I didn't really have any path for college or anything. I was from a poor family out of Jersey. We didn't have computers then. I went to 3 different high schools, all my sports scholarships. There were no computers, no way to track me when I was going to different high schools in several counties over. You move several counties, people think you fell off the planet. And so I didn't really have any vision to get to college. So the Army offered me some money if I went in and served to go to school. And I went in there and it just fit for me. It just was as natural for me. I think God had been grooming me my whole life as a kid from getting bullied and not liking that too much and learning how to box and wrestle. And then I was too poor to afford karate classes. So when my friends went to karate classes, when they got back, I'd ask them, hey, teach you what you learned today. So I was doing MMA before they even called it MMA. And they mainly did that to build up the confidence to stand up against these bullies. And I wasn't just getting picked on by one bully. I had like a pack of bullies that had honed in on me like a pack of wolves. And so, long story short, I stood up for myself one day. And then I became a defender of the week. Anybody that was getting bullied in my school, I would go to help them and aid them. And that just natural for me when I went in the Army, very natural. And so I was hungry. So I volunteered for everything. I went to every school I could. 1988, I graduated from Ranger School and been living the Ranger Creed to this day from 1988 till now. So, you figure that out. That's like 36, 7 years, something like that. Right. And so, I served in the 82nd Airborne Division for my first unit. I was in there for about 7 years. I went to the 1st Gulf War. I was the youngest platoon sergeant in the division at 24 years old. So I went to that first war, wound up becoming a drill sergeant, was a ranger instructor, finally went to the SEER School, Survival, Evasion, and Resistance Escape, and became the primary survival instructor and tracking instructor because I went to a tracking course at the Florida Ranger Camp where I was a ranger instructor at, teaching swamp and jungle and boat ops. And then from there, I went to the 10th Mountain Division. I became a first sergeant, went to the Old Guard, and served in the nation's capital, which was a very distinct honor. Wound up getting picked up for the Sergeant's Major Academy, our elite, top-of-the-line leadership academy for a year. Then they shipped me out to Hawaii, and they were like, yeah, Hawaii's a good assignment. However, we were at war, so, war was you were going to get the card sooner or later, and I did. I wound up going back to Iraq for 15 months. On my next deployment, I was a sergeant major and wound up being a command sergeant major for the unit. Never pinned the rank, but I filled the position for about a year and a half with my same battalion. I was in the 121 Infantry Gimlets in the 25th Infantry Division, Tropical Lightning. And I served in that unit for 5 years. I was their ops sergeant major for about 3 years. Then I served as the CSM. And then the unit was deploying. I couldn't deploy anymore. My back was too jacked up. The colonel's like, Sergeant Major, how do you want to go through the retirement stage? I'm like, what do you mean? You want to walk or be in a wheelchair? I was like, yeah, I prefer to walk. He's like, well, you're one pothole from being pretty much a cripple. So wouldn't let me deploy. So I wound up having to stay back as the brigade rear DCSM and manage things in the rear.
What year was this? What year was this?
That was like 07 to 09. And, so it's, they always say if the guy you're leaving back hurts you forward, you're leaving the right guy. So they were pretty confident in leaving me back to take care of the situation for them, send stuff forward and do all that. And so that was my military career. I did 25 years, retired at the rank of Sergeant Major E9, highly decorated, probably over 50 plus medals and decorations and apputences, and probably well over 30 schools. And just I led from the front. I was a in-your-face type leader, but I led by example. And then, I used to fight when I got in the Army. I did like the boxing smokers, and I liked fighting competitively. I've never thrown a first punch in my life outside the ring or combat, but I've thrown a hell of a lot of last punches. And when I was in the ring, I'd hit guys so hard they felt like cinder blocks were hitting them. And, I got in a barracks fight one night from this guy that used to get drunk and sucker punch guys. And then he popped one of my guys. Kid went down, was going to need stitches. I'm standing him up. And the guy came over to hit him again. I threw the guy down. I said, get the hell out of here, man. So I'm trying to tend to my friend. My back's to the dude. He gets up and hits me with some glass item. I don't know to this day if it was a beer bottle, a mug. And I turned around and had bloodlust. And I jumped on this dude, and I was hitting him hard. And then the guys pulled me off. They knew this, the CQ's coming up. You got to get everything broken apart. And I carted my friend off to the hospital, down to the infirmary to get stitches. The next morning, I come back to the formation. I'm hearing all these guys go, hey, what's up, Skull Crusher? What's up, Skull Crusher? And I'm walking from platoon to platoon, get down to the last rank where I was at. And these guys keep saying this. I'm like, what the hell's going on? They're like, look at down there. Look at so-and-so. And I was like, I looked down and he was all patched up. I'm like, what the hell happened to him? What happened when he left the party? They're like, you happened to him. I'm like, what? Yeah, his face is all fractured and everything, but don't worry. The first round is going to give him an Article 15 for being drunk and out of control of his faculties. And I was like, damn. And so apparently they started calling me Skull Crusher from the cracks. And I don't condone violence. It's always better to talk your way out of something first. But if you got to throw down, do not hesitate. You got to strike hard. So there we go. That's kind of my career in a nutshell for the most part.
So we're all dying to know. I mean, obviously you've been on all these incredible reality TV shows, survival shows.
Right.
And you are a star on those. How did you get into those TV shows? What did you do?
Well, and here's the funny thing: how I got in the Army. My mom asked me. I'm 18. I'm a December baby. My birthday was just a few days ago on the 3rd. I'm
Happy
60,
birthday, by the way.
6 decades. Never looked so good. I feel like I'm 30. Let's go. but thank you. And so she asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm like, "Mom, I want to go. I want to go be an actor and a stuntman. I'm gonna maybe go to Hollywood and try, or maybe just go live in New York and figure this out. I think that's what I want to do." Because when I was in high school, I was not only an athlete, but I was also into theater, and I was a singer. I was into instrument, the band. I liked so many things. I had so many hobbies and talents, that I loved, that I wanted to, express them all. And she was like, "Well, you can't do that." I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Well, you'll starve. You'll never make it." I'm like, "You're my mom. You're supposed to support my dream." She's like, "I won't allow it." I'm like, "What?" So I'm all pissed off. So, here I am at 18. I just go down to I'm living in a basement apartment at this time, like a 2-bedroom, like tiny thing.
And this
Couldn't
is in
fit it in
North
my 2-car
Carolina, or
garage
where
at
is
this moment.
where is this? Where is
This is in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. I lived in an
Jersey, that's
apartment. We were in the superintendent apartment in the basement floor, so we could go fix toilets and stuff, so we would get a break on the rent. And it was just, so I was, like I said, so I'm mad. They leave to go to the lake house. So we had a lake house that we had 2 tenants in. They got to go check on them. And then we had a flat underneath. So it was like 3 apartments on this house. And so I take off to go look. I go around the corner to the local bar, which I've been attending quite a bit because I live.
EJ, you there?
What's that?
There we go.
What happened?
We got you now. There's a break in the sound there. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
What did you last hear?
There was a break I'm sorry. You were going into a bar, or you were at a bar.
Yeah, just down around the corner from my apartment, I used to go to this bar. Of course, I'm 18. Legal age of drinking at that time, I might have been 19, maybe 21, but I'm 6'4". I'm a football player. I'm a very lean 245, 250. So got hair growing out already. So it's like, yeah. So I go down there and get me a 12-pack of beer and come back up. I'm watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the Army recruiter calls me, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, nothing. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because my mom's giving me shit, and I'm banging nails at my dad. She doesn't like it. So I went down and watched these, videos got in the Army. So I always had an aspiration to be an actor or stuff, get into TV or entertainment somehow. And all my life, I've always been entertaining. I always did plays. I was always doing skits, especially through the Army to entertain people. I put on the boxing smokers in the combatives tournaments, and I would be the MC, and I'd come out with the boas, jocking because at one point in my career in the Army, at about 10 years, I was recruited by WCW to come out of the Army, go be a pro wrestler at that time. I was at that time in the Army. I was 285 pounds with 20-inch arms. I mean, I was a very big guy, and I went to a very independent wrestling school to learn about it. But when I made the decision, I had a kid on the way. I figured better off staying in the Army, get a retirement. I'm halfway there, so that's what I did. I had friends in the business, and at that time in the 90s, Vince McMahon, he wasn't taking care of nobody. You get hurt, you're not getting any money in. So I went the secure route, got the retirement. But at the end of my career, I was in Hawaii, and I wound up going and filming the show Lost. So I got a bit part at Lost, doing some consulting for them on military tactics, and I wound up being one of the freighter boat mercenaries on that series TV show Lost.
Really? And what season was that? What season was that? Do you remember?
Season 3 and season 4.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I just started watching it on Netflix. Literally, Lost.
Well, season 3, I've got a flat top. Anytime the marshal's chasing Kate, I'm one of the marshal's right-hand guys because I was doing stunt work. And so I'm the guy crashing through the door or through the window, and here comes in the marshal. "Oh, I got you, Kate." "Well, what am I, chop liver? I just busted through a door." Okay. So I was doing some work for them, and then at one point, they brought in these freighter boat mercenaries, and they asked me to find some guys that really fit the part because they had a bunch of dread-headed lifeguards from the North Shore that didn't know which way to hold a rifle. And I'm like, "Well, I'll bring you some guys that have been around the world and back again, all tatted up and everything." And so that's how I became the character Redfern. I was the B team leader, and that was a great time. And I did a bunch of other films and commercials, but I loved the show Survivor. Been studying it for years. at the end of my Army career, I can finally apply. So I kept applying. And in season 13, I was a finalist, and they wound up switching the theme of the show, and I wound up getting replaced. And then it wasn't until 2021, season 21, season 21, which was 2010, they had called me up, and I was a finalist again, going to the island. And then Jimmy Johnson, the football coach, had cleared his medicals after 2 years, which Survivor saved his life. Another story. You look that up yourself. And they replaced me, a Giants fan, with the damn Dallas Cowboys coach. So the good thing that happened out of that, though, was my name started floating around to all these casting directors. And they were like, yeah, there's this big guy. He's kind of like an MMA fighter. He's a survivalist. He's a former military guy. He's got a really big personality. He's pretty witty. He's in good shape. He's an older guy, but and I started getting called for all these different shows, and that's how Discovery recruited me. They found me, recruited me for the Dual Survival show. They were replacing Dave Canterbury, one of the first hosts. He was the military guy on the show, not the barefoot hippie. And I went out and tried out with 4 other guys. And then the end of the thing, this guy's got the best survival skills and knowledge and experience we've ever seen. And so it came down to where they decided they wanted to go with Joe Tedai. I think they fell in love with his spooky CIA supposed resume. I know Joe, he's done this stuff. Some people question it. I don't know. All I know is Discovery fell in love with Joe. The production company wanted me. And when it came down to it, Discovery's like, well, we got another show coming up that we need some help developing. And this guy might be the right guy for it. And I think my personality at that time, Joe is the right guy. Because you got to have that dual survival. You got to have a conflict of personalities. And Joe will conflict with everybody, where I am better at teamwork and getting along with people. So the spirits know what they're doing.
Yeah, I got a question for you real quick. Did all these survival skills and instincts, did it all come from the Army, or did you all of a sudden start going, hey, I've got a passion for survival, I'm going to start, how did that go?
It started when I was 8 years. Yeah, it started when I was 8 years old. And I had an experience at 8 years old where you're come of age. So at 8 years old, you want to earn your folding hunting buck knife. And your dad takes you on the hunt, and I'm there with my cousin, who was like 6 months older than I. We're the same age. We're going on our first hunt. We didn't realize that meant we were doing all the work, but we got on the hunt, and like my cousins are there, my grandfather, my uncles, my dad, some of their best friends, with all the sons, and we're coming of age. And so you go on this hunting trip for 2 weeks, and we're staying in this nice lodge, and we eat our meals together, and it's really a bonding experience. So I was out with my dad, and we were in the afternoon. He had this valley. He'd been stalking this buck for a while. And so we were sitting there, and he was pretty close to getting him. And it had been snowing like for 3 days before that. So it was pretty cold. We're in upstate New York. We're sitting on this ridge. The wind's starting to come in, and it's starting to get dark. And I'm starting to freeze. I'm an 8-year-old kid. I got my snowsuit on with the whole orange and everything. But my dad's like, he's like, Each, and the cabin the lodge was about 3 miles from where we were. He's like, just follow our tracks back. We came straight here, and you follow them back, and you'll be good. I'm like, all right, Dad, I'll go get some hot cocoa, and I'll see you back there. So off I go walking, 8 years old. And as an 8-year-old would do, I see something that catches my attention. And it's starting to flurry about now. So I look to my left, and I walk off the path. I'm thinking, I'll just make good tracks, and I'll follow my tracks back. And I get walking, and there's this huge rock. So I start playing on this big rock boulder. I'm climbing it. I'm looking, maybe there's a bear in here or whatever. And then I'm like, well, it's starting to get darker. I'm like, okay, I better get back to walking. So I start trying to follow my tracks back to where I started, and they got all covered up. And so I am walking circles, and I'm starting to panic because I'm an 8-year-old kid. And I was probably about a mile into the walk back. And so I wound up just climbing up on that rock. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just crying. I was yelling. So I was like up on this big rock. It was about 12 feet tall or so. And it got dark. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, I'm
man.
going to die. I don't want to die. I don't
So
want
you're
to die.
8 years old out in the
And
snow. It's freezing and you're off the path and can't find your way back. Oh my God.
yeah,
Okay, go for it. Go.
so so I'm up on this rock in my orange jumpsuit, and I just don't know what to do, and I'm crying, and then all of a sudden I hear people yelling, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, I hear some voices, and it's comes from all over because it's woods, it's snowing now, it's really coming down. So I start yelling, I'm over here, and eventually I see the flashlights, and then my dad and my uncle Jim come up, and there I am, and I grab my dad, and he's like, oh son, I'm so sorry I failed you. He's like, I should have taught you how to read a compass so you could have been understanding how to navigate. So tomorrow, before we're not even going hunting tomorrow morning, he said, here, hold on to this. I want you to look at it and check it out. He gave me his compass his daddy gave him. And he says, I want you to hold this. It was a brass compass, like a pocket watch, but you opened it up. He's like, tomorrow after breakfast, I'm going to show you how to navigate. And so you'll never have to worry about being lost again, how to read terrain and everything. And we really spent the whole day doing that. And from that day forth, I wanted to know how to be able to live in the wilderness if I got in trouble, how to get home, how to take care of myself. And I joined the Scouts right after that so I could learn some more skills. Not that Scouts really do a lot of it, but you go camping and do that. And my dad was a huge outdoorsman. So I'm in Jersey, right? But when the weekends came, he's taking us hunting, trapping, fishing, camping, getting outside. And I'm so appreciative of it because it gave me a love for the outdoors. And that one incident just was the match that sparked me to where I'm at today. And so when I got in the Army and Ranger School to stay awake, where's my book? I know it's over here. So, never far from me, I present to you the Army Ranger Handbook. And in this book, when I was on security to stay awake, I would get in here and I'd go to my favorite chapter right there on survival. And each phase you went to was a different environment, either jungle, swamps, mountains, desert, and you learned particular survival skills for that region. So I became obsessed with survival skills at that point, always trying to get in the SEER school, and eventually I got to go. And then once I learned it, I just was hungry, and I'd find anybody that would teach me other stuff, humble myself to others so I would learn these skills. And I just wanted to be the best me I could be, the best survivalist I could be for me and my family. When the bad days would come, I could take care of them and other people. And I wanted the whole world to know it. So I just started teaching civilians, military. I got out, I kept teaching people. It kept honing my skills. And then when Discovery recruited me for dual survival, what happened was I went out, tried out. They put me on the back burner. And then I wound up filming the very first in 2013, coming up on 13 years ago in Tanzania, Africa. Me and Kelly Neitlinger went out and filmed the pilot episode of Naked Afraid. Not only did I have to survive 21 days, I helped consult on the show how to structure it and get it together. And while I was in the field, I wound up having to actually produce some of it while we were out there because nobody knew what they were doing. And we were self-filming a lot of stuff, and we were trying to build a hit series. And that's a whole nother story. But I was the first man to ever do Naked Afraid. I wound up going back 7 months later to the Amazon jungle when 3 people quit in Peru. I was the first man to do it twice. And I went with Laura Zera, the best female survivalist I've ever met. Grew a lot from being with her. And that challenge is just so addicting. You just want to go back out and test yourself more because it's a place where the challenges are 100% real. People that think it's scripted or they don't know what they're talking about. It's not scripted at all.
You are out there naked with nothing, right?
Yeah. And some parts are orchestrated to where you got to get 2 people to meet each other buck naked in the middle of nowhere to get the thing going. So that, there's a little bit of maybe, yeah, you're going to go that way or whatever. But once you get together, it's all on you until you leave. And sometimes they got to get around certain people that might not have ever flew on a helicopter. They ain't had a cheeseburger in 3 weeks. They ain't all there. So, but for the most part, it's a very real challenge. I wound up going back. Me and Laura were the first 2 people to do it 3 times ever. And so I've got a lot of records and titles for different things for being there. Most weight loss in a single challenge. on the longest challenges, most weight lost ever. 6 challenges, no taps, 206 days, 1 right spear testicle. I've got quite a bit of things. The oldest to do it, I think I might have been passed up. I don't know, but I was the last time I did it was about 2 or 3 weeks short of my 56th birthday. I want to do one more challenge to close it out on a high note. They always said I retired. For the record, I never retired. They've asked me back 6 times since my last one.
Wow.
Just certain things went on or happened that we couldn't get it going. So nonetheless, I love doing the challenges. I love doing Dual Survival. I got to go back with Jeff. Love filming that season 9. Check it out. Go to ejsnyder.com. All the links to all my episodes, all my shows. There's also 72 hours, which was something I did before any of this. I got kicked off of, didn't get on the island with Survivor, but I did a show called The Sheriff with Joe Tedeye. That's where I first met Joe. I did a few other small shows, Can You Survive a Horror Movie, and some other ones. And then I did this show, 72 Hours in Fiji, where it's an adventure survival race. You go to a remote location, the clothes on your back, 1 water bottle, and 2 people you meet on your starting line. My 2 people should have never left their couch. I'm dragging them through the Fijian jungle the whole way. You're racing for a $100,000 briefcase. You got 72 hours to find it.
Wow.
And that came out in June of 2013, the same month, like 2 weeks apart, that my episode from Naked Afraid came out. So I was one of the first people to ever do 2 brand new shows aired in the same year. And then I wound up doing a show called Mountain Masters, First Man Out. I helped build Ed Stafford. I helped create that show with him. So I built 3 hit series in my career. Always willing to do more, you know what I mean? But as life would have it, I started getting into business, and I had some opportunities come up. So,
wow. All right, so everybody's wondering, you're out in the wilderness, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you've got you're obviously with other contestants, right?
I'm putting on a layer of shelter, folks, because where I'm at in North Carolina, it's about 30-something degrees right now. And so I'm not in great warm Texas like Alan, so
yeah,
put this field coat on.
Yeah, and you're not naked and afraid right now in the snow.
No, I don't have to prove nothing at this moment.
So
just sipping on my preamble.
What happens out there? You're in the middle of nowhere, Tanzania, Africa. You're with other contestants. Some of them are female, and I mean, is Wood involved?
Well,
since you're
the original
naked or what?
The original format is 1 man, 1 woman, strangers meet, and it was 1 item each, and that's the original format. And
okay,
as production will get going, they want to make it more interesting for the viewer. Maybe some people's skills weren't quite where they should have been. They start adding items, giving items. Oh, here, let's give him a bow because he's a hunter. He'll kill all this stuff. People will love it. And it gets frustrating because you start out one way, and that's, you're getting tested by, killing stuff with a pointy stick. And now a guy who's been hunting his whole life, they're going to give him a bow and make him look like more of a hero. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
If the guy didn't hit something with his actual bow, then I would be like, well, what the hell's wrong with him? This is what he does for a living. He's a hunting guide. Like when I went out and got my hands the first time on a bow was on the first 40-day challenge. Again, you asked how many go out. On the very first XL in the Colombian Badlands, they put 6 men and 6 women out there in little groups of 3, different combinations, 2 guys and a girl, 2 girls and a guy, 3 girls, 3 guys. I was in the alpha male group, the 3 guys. And Shane, who we picked up later on in the challenge, as we were moving, me and Jeff, he had a primitive bow that he had just finished making, and it wasn't even properly fully cured yet. And we had to make our own arrows. So we're out there. The only thing that was modern on that bow was the string. Everything else you had to make yourself. And so people think, oh, yeah. It's not that easy. It's you have to craft stuff, and you don't have a lot of time. But if you're going to make a bow properly, it takes 30 days to cure properly. If you're going to make proper arrows, it takes time.
how did he have string?
Huh?
How did he have string?
Well,
Was that
he
his
had
one item that he got to bring, or?
no. They allowed him to bring the bow, and they allowed him to have an actual
Oh,
modern string on there.
gotcha. Okay. Okay, I see.
Good. And so, but if you had to make a primitive cordage, I mean, it's tough. You need tendons, you need different things to work for a bow, a real primitive bow. But, and that's okay. In my teachings, there's 9 pillars of survival. And everyone knows the core 4: shelter, fire, water, and food. Those are the first 4. Those are the 4 most people know. But before all that, I teach mindset. Because the mind, as Johnny Rambo said, is the greatest weapon. And if you are gritty, determined, you won't quit for nothing, you have a can-do attitude, mindset's everything in survival, in life, in everything. And so that's the first one for me. Then it's shelter and security, and then it's fire and water. Because you're not going to last 3 hours without some kind of form of security or shelter. You're not going to go more than 3 days without water. You can go up to 3 weeks without a real good meal. And then it's like 3 months without human interaction. Because we're a social species, you might start going crazy. Some people sooner than that. I don't know. However, a lot of people put too much emphasis on these shows on food. Oh, you don't. Okay, dickhead. Pardon my French. I get out to the Amazon, and the only thing I got to up my game in hunting is a guy that quit. Let's not talk about him and why he brought a blow dart gun to the Amazon, but he did, and he's good. What did he hunt with it? Great. EJ Snyder. I use it as a straw. The only blow dart hunting I've done in my life was with a spitball with a straw and a piece of chewed up straw wrapper. Okay,
in 6th grade.
I'm out in the hardest. I'm out in one of the hardest jungles on the planet, trying to help me and Steven get a meal, and I got metal darts and I got wooden darts, and I found a poison frog, and I'm trying to get the poison off its back to stun these animals, and I put it on the metal dart because I'm thinking, oh, metal's tougher than wood. Science says so. But what I didn't realize with the poison, the wood soaked it up. So when you hit the animal, the wooden dart would stick in them. The poison would stay in there better. The metal had evaporated, so it was less effective. I had no idea. I've never hunted with this thing in my life, and I was hitting shit. But after a few moments, it would crawl off, and I'm like, "There goes lunch. What the hell am I supposed to do now?" And it gets a little frustrating when you've got armchair quarterbacks out there who really shouldn't make you. And I've gotten better about that. They really don't faze me no more. But they say just because I'm on TV, I'm not a cartoon character. I'm not a punching bag. I'm a public figure, not a public punching bag. So you're going to bite me, I'm going to bite back. And you might not like it. You say, well, that's what you said. Hey, I'm an alpha male. All right? I'm a Gen X guy. Now I'm finding out I'm a Joneser, apparently. There's a Gen Jones now, some between the boomers and the X's. But either way, I drank from garden hoses. I ate mud pies. I flipped over handlebars, broke my face open. My mom told me, get up, come home when the lights come on, the street light. So I'm going to, if you know you're damn sure not going to say that to my face, regardless if I'm 60 years old, then you shouldn't be saying shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, you think you're anonymous behind a keyboard.
Warriors and all that kind of crap, like trolls out there, armchair quarterbacks.
They're terrible, man.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that you got to deal with when you get on TV that nobody prepares you for. They don't prepare you for social media, none of that stuff, because they call. I hate the term reality star, and they get classified in that world. What I did on with Naked, and Al, it's okay. But when I did Naked Afraid, yeah, and some of the other shows you're a presenter, and it's only switched on when you're doing your whatever you're doing. With Naked Afraid, you're 24/7, and you don't get paid a whole lot. If when I broke down the dollars for the very first challenge I ever did, I think I was making 28 cents an hour for my first Naked Afraid challenge. I was out there for 509 hours.
Wow.
And with what I got paid, when I divided it, it broke down to about 28 cents an hour. But
Wow.
you don't do it for the money. You do it for the experience. You do it for the growth. You do it. And for me, it was addicting for that part. But the part I never saw coming was the millions, hundreds of millions of people across the globe that E.J. Snyder would inspire, would motivate, would be a role model for. I mean, when I was a kid, I had Johnny Rambo. I had the $6 million man and
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett on my walls on posters. Now they got E.J. Snyder on their walls. They're dressing up like E.J. Snyder for Halloween. That is so
Pretty cool,
humbling
huh?
when you think about it in those terms. And
Yeah.
so for me, if I can influence people in any way to better their life, to change their life, even save their life, I'm going back out again and again and again. I speared my balls, had field stitches put in with no pain meds, and stayed another 33 days to make it 60 days in a winter cold, wet swamp. Why? Because somebody out there needed to hear that message. Not because I'm trying to prove nothing. I ain't got nothing to prove. I've been through 2 battles, 2 wars. I've been
Yeah.
on this earth now 6 decades. I've lived a storybook life, one that will never get written anywhere, because there's certain things that are going to not should be said. And but that I've been blessed with a life to walk this earth, have the experiences, see the things I've seen, and still be standing. I tell people all the time, age is just a number. Don't be fooled by this gray hair. Beware the man who's with the gray hair, who was in a profession where men died young, and he's still here. There's a reason I'm old and gray. I still got it in me.
Sure. Sure. And not only that, you are an entrepreneur as well. You've got a couple businesses, but you've launched a new business here. These are veteran-owned
Oh,
businesses. And I happened to come and link up with you here in Dallas, Arlington, actually, just recently
yeah.
here. Tell us about your newest venture, because you were with Armed Forces Brewing Company at last year's Army Navy game, and I got to try your product
Yeah.
there, and it was
Yep.
freaking awesome. So go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom
So
Pickles.
I've always had an entrepreneur spirit since I was young.
Totally.
Again, getting bullied as a kid, you're poor. I'm wearing tough skins with blue, like rust colored tough skins with blue iron on patches, because that's all my mom can afford. She's working 3 jobs. People are calling me and my kid brother Scarecrow, patches, and I didn't like it. So what I do? Mindset. Learned very young. You do something about it. So I went out and got a paper route. Not because I wanted to be rich. I just wanted to make enough money to buy Levi jeans for me and my kid brother. That was it. And so I got this paper out, and it was a bigger one than the other kids. And there was 5 paper routes in town. So I had my street. It was like, I don't know, 80 houses. You know, when papers were a thing, you delivered the daily paper and the Sunday paper. Sometimes people only got Sunday. And you go around and collect, and you had your ring with the cards. Oh, hello, Mr. Smith, I'm here to collect. And they give you your tip, and they pay for the paper. And I got it. Wow. I got jeans for my kid brother. Wait, now we can get bikes and kites. And so so I go find this
I'm
kid,
working.
and he's aging out for his paper out. I'm like, hey, can you give me your paper route? When you're going to age out, I'll take it from you. He's like, yeah, no problem. So I got 2 paper routes, and I was handling it okay, because now I have about 120, houses to hit. So then I'm like, man, this is really good. The money's starting to roll in. So I wound up found another kid, and he wanted to go play football, and he's like, but I really need the money. I need just a little bit so I can do this. And I'm like, and he had kind of a soda pop candy addiction. So I says, hey, listen, you give me your route. You got how many? Oh, you got another 100. Perfect. I'll give you 10% of the tips. Then you can still get the soda pop and the candy. He said, that's beautiful. I don't have to work. No. So I got the other route, and now I'm really hustling. I'm busy. And there were 2 more routes in the town. And next guy comes over. He says, hey, I hear you pick up routes. I got to get, I want to go play football and whatever. And so I got another one. Next thing I know, I got to hire my kid brother and my best friend across the street to help me out, because I got too many papers to deliver now. So I'm paying them.
You're
We're
growing a
paying
business.
through the business. So I had that always. And so while I was in the Army, I'm like a 2-time Nutrisystem failure, a 3-time Amway failure, and some other of those market scheme failures. But I always fancied myself a business. And I preach to young people. When you get out of high school, as soon as you're old enough, get an LLC. It don't matter what it is. Call it Acme, American Acme LLC. Don't matter. Just get yourself an LLC and put it on hold because it's just going to mark time. And by the time you need it, 10 years might go by. Guess what happens? You're in business for 10 years, whether you made a dime or not. So I had my first LLC, Skull Crusher LLC, when I got out doing the survival stuff, and I moved a lot of stuff through there, helps with taxes and different things. I'm a consultant. I do all these things. So I'm picking up all these.
You were selling survival kits and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of just meet and greet and taking pictures with people, I'm selling stuff. It's extra money. Yeah. So I have a love of pickles. And me and my good friend, Jason Loveland, who's my partner, he's an Air Force vet. It's his grandmother's pickle recipe. But over the years, we met through filming, like over 12 years ago. We met through filming. And he was from New York. And we talked about pickles all the time. Oh, yeah. And we used to, share our stories. If we found a good jar, we'd send it to each other. And he kept bragging about his grandmother's pickles. And I just told him, listen, shut up about Grandmama's pickles. I don't want to hear another thing about it. They suck. He said, no, they're the best pickles ever. You don't understand. I'm like, I don't care. I've never had them. For 2 years, I hear about them. No more. Stop. So a couple of weeks later, he inherited his grandmother's recipe. His uncle had it under lock and key on a napkin. He made the pickles. He sends me a mason jar, not labeled. I'm like, Jason, what is this crap? I call him. You send me these pickles. There's nothing labeled on it. I'm not eating this shit. He's like, no, call me on video. So I called him on video. Says, what do you want? He's like, eat the pickle. I want to see your facial reaction. Oh, okay. I'll eat it, but I'm not going to like it. I can tell you that right now. And I ate it. And I was like, and I took another bite. And I'm like, this is the best pickle I've ever ate. It was a dill pickle.
Same experience I had when I tried them.
he started laughing at me and he's like, he says, you know what pickle that is? I'm like, well, what? He's like, that's Grandmama's pickle. Grandmama Marion's pickle. I was like, dude, we need to jar these up. He's like, hey, you think we can go to Trump rallies and farmers markets? Because he was out of work. He's disabled. He was delivering pizzas. I'm like, dude, you want a job? I want to take over the pickle world. I got an idea. And then we started talking. And we were going to be Patriot Pickles, red, white, and blue, honor the military, hire the military, give back to the military profits. And we sat down and we stayed up all night designing this idea with a couple other guys in April of 2022. And they're like, we're going to be Patriot Pickles. I'm like, that's perfect. So I'm like, did anybody check the name? Like, no. And I've been, designing knives. So I understand if you're going to name something, you better go find out if it's copyrighted, trademarked. And we are. Don't even think about it. But I looked up Patriot Pickles. And I'm like, oh, my God, guys, there's a Patriot Pickles. And they're like, oh, no, yeah, Wayne, New Jersey. Okay, let me go to their website. So I go to the website. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm about to hit enter. I'm going to the website. Hold your breath. I'm closing my eyes. I hit the button, and I'm going to open it. And guess what the dang marketing plan was?
What?
Well, I want it to be, what did I want to be? Red, white, and blue, right?
Yep.
Guess what they were?
Red, white, and blue.
No, they weren't. Green is this jacket and yellow letters like everybody else. Fire that marketing guy. Goose. I'm like, oh shit, guys. Our marketing plan is still good, but we need a new name because that's not going to work. What's next? And then Jason said, how about freedom? I like freedom. You like freedom. We fought for freedom. We want to be free of dyes and chemicals and junk. So let's go with freedom. All right, let's look up Freedom Pickles. No Freedom Pickles, no freedom other things, but not pickles. Freedom Pickles it is. Boom, boom, boom. We started designing logos, and we went ass backwards at this thing. We were looking for the money. But long story short, we wound up losing the other two partners. We just about a year after we were into this, they weren't bringing any value, so we restructured the company as an Inc. Freedom Pickles USA Inc. And me and Jason were the only two founders of it. One of the other guys wasn't a veteran. We really wanted to be fully veteran founded and veteran owned, which we are 100%. And we started moving. And we wound up courting some folks. We started getting advice. So I started doing the taste testings like they told me. There I was up with you at the Army-Navy game. We had 700 people come through and test the pickles. We have tested this pickle against other pickles. 1, 2 other pickles, 3 other pickles, 5 other pickles, 8 other pickles. Yeah. Everybody picks our pickles. We flip 9.5 non-pickle eaters out of 10 every time. We flip them. We'll flip you. If you're not, we just have a perfect track record on that. So our pickles are all natural. So we can cook them like Grandma did. We use a mason jar right now. We're going to go to a different jar for efficiency, but very stylish, reusable mason jar, red, white, blue labels. There's Sergeant Pickle Cruncher, our lead mascot, the pickle crunching, paratrooping pickle of our Patriot Dill Pickles. We have also launched with Gunny's Garlicky, our little Marine, and he has a little private garlic pile right there on the label. Those pickles taste like the New York Deli Barrel pickles I remember as a kid. And then we have our Firework Frenzy Hot and Spicy with our Air Force guy, Gunner Smoke 'em, bringing in the heat with the chili peppers. We've got a multitude of other flavors coming, but we've launched with these 3. So we did the taste testing. We went back to the investor. Hey, here's our business plan. We need money. Taste tests are good. We're good. We got plenty of tests. Okay, well, why don't you do a proof of concept? Okay, what do you want? Well, make some jars, try to get some purchase orders, get some customers. Okay, well, how about $100,000 to help? Well, you guys just see what you can do. But that's what you need to do now, proof of concept. Come back and let us know what you're going to do. Doesn't give us a dime. I have to go out. I find $83,000 from an Army buddy, give him 1% to be a silent partner in the company. Our good friend, Matt Voog, who made us, we're at where we're at. We're very grateful to Matt because if it wasn't for him, I mean, I invested since 2022 about 90 grand of my own personal money into this company. Sweat, blood, and tears. Jason, probably another 30, 35 just to get this thing going. So we get the 83 grand. Last year, we produced 3,000 jars. So I was doing some stuff. I was going to do some TV or something. I get back. That kind of fell through. So I'm like, well, where are we at, Jason? Well, we got 3,000 jars. We got 1,000 of every flavor. I'm like, well, we need to get them on the shelf. What's the deal? I can't figure it out. I'm like, what? I drive from North Carolina, 500 miles, 13 hours. It's 6.5 hours. Spend 2 hours with him. We pray over the cases. I pick up every case he's got, and I head north. And I am determined to figure out how to get these on the shelf because we need money now. We've been burning through it, paying employees. There's licensing fees, there's copyrights, there's FDA licensing certificates, recipes.
Yeah.
So on December 23rd of 2024, I put the pickles on in 3 different stores in my local town, and we haven't looked back since. We're coming up on that 1-year anniversary. By the time that hits, we'll have produced 10,000 jars. We'll have been to, I think, 50 some odd events, tastings, expos, and pickle festivals.
And on Laura Trump in Washington, D.C.
Went to the Great American Farmers Market. I had an open weekend. Event canceled on me or something. And I looked what's going on. And I went to this event thing in D.C. They were having the Great American Farmers Market. So I says, all right, oh my God, we got 48 hours to get this in. So I get my application in. And these guys are waiting for purchase orders, right? So before that happened, let me back up a little bit. So I put those pickles on the shelf.
The questions are coming in, EJ. Where are they sold? Everybody wants to know where they can get your Freedom Pickles.
Stand by. So backing up a little bit, we're doing our proof of concept. I moved all 3,000 jars in 100 days. Go back to the investor. Proof of concept, done. 3,000 jars in 100 days. Bam. Well, where's the purchase order? Well, here's the email from Harris Teeter. We had put all of our stuff through a bunch of different grocery stores to get in there. Harris Teeter wants our product. No purchase order. Well, you got to have a purchase order. We won't. I'm like, I had to wait till August for the purchase order finally came in. So I had to go find another $100,000 to keep the momentum going. So we're doing all these events. July is the Great American Farmers Market, first week of August. And I apply, 1,700 applicants apply. They only picked 50. They wanted one farmer or food producer from every state. It didn't work out quite that way, but they picked up 50 of us. We were one of them out of 1,700. While we were there, we made the big splash. We wound up on the Lara Trump My View show on Fox News. You can check it out on my social media, Instagram at EJ Snyder333. Go to EJSnyder.com. You can check me out on all my social medias. FreedomPickles.com, folks. Go there. If you want to order some of our jars, go to FreedomPickles.com. And for all you out there, just go. We have a pickle club going on. You can join for a fee, and you'll get a jar at your door every month. There's some other perks. But go to freedompickles.com. If you're in the state of Florida, in the northern region, we're in 4 IGAs, 3 Hitchcocks, and then there's a couple mom and pops there. In the Fort Bragg, Fayetteville, North Carolina area, we're in several mom and pops. We're in the Smoky Mountain Knife Works in Tennessee and the Mountain Holler Country Store up in Allen, Kentucky. But more so than that, in North Carolina and South Carolina, we're the Eastern and Northern Harris Teeter supermarkets, 49 stores. We are now coming up on a year from the first jar going on the shelf, 10,000 jars produced with only 6 people and a few other stragglers. We're at 70 locations. We're in negotiations in Texas with HEB, 470 stores in Texas and Mexico. Yep. And we've just applied for the AAFES government contract for the bases of the military. AAFES, the Army Air Force Exchange, the MCX, which is the Marine Corps Exchange, the CGX for the Coast Guard, and the NEX for the Navy. 5,000 locations.
Love it.
CONUS
Love it.
In the United States and OCONUS overseas. And on Tuesday, I'll be speaking with a gentleman that knows how to get us into the Department of Defense commissaries, military commissaries, prison commissaries everywhere. Heck, we're going to take care of everyone and make them healthy because we have the best tasting pickles on the planet, and they are the crunchiest. Why? Because we do it old school. We ice bath our pickles for 30 minutes, whether they like it or not. That locks in the crunch. That locks in the green. When we get our cucumbers, we locally source them in North Carolina and Florida. We got to hold them. They got to be firm. They got to check the bump count. Got to be right. When you cut them open, the seeds got to be packed tight. The meat white. Ice bath them. Can't cook them. Put the grandmama's old world spice recipe and other ingredients, which we also locally source or grow ourselves. We use a natural pickling salt that's good for the body, that makes it the healthiest salt because your human body needs salt, but it locks it in for a 2-year shelf life. Given us, when you scan the UPC code on the back of the label, you get a 90 on the Yucca app. The closest one to us is about a 72. All other pickle companies use ferment agents, preservative agents, caking agents, dyes, and other junk bunk chemicals. We don't use any of it. Man, we are all natural pickle. Doing it before anyone else was doing it.
Yeah, when you eat Freedom Pickles, I'm telling you, you don't want to touch another Mount Olive product or Clausen or I mean, these pickles.
Oh, please don't eat none of those, guys. The new administration is trying to make America healthy again. Yeah. So they're outlawing dyes. They're trying to get these companies to come up and make a natural pickle, and they're trying, but they can't. Our pickle's on the shelf. In North Carolina, it's going to be in the Got to Be North Carolina, Got to Be NC local section. Same thing in South Carolina. Pretty soon in Florida, if we get them to publish, we're going to be in Florida Fresh. But the thing is, with our pickles, they're all natural. They're the best. We've been doing healthy before anyone else got cool. Because we want you to eat a good, healthy product. If you eat one full pickled cucumber a day, it's better than an apple. You get all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, electrolytes, and salt you need for your day. It's a good start. It's good for hangovers. It's good for get you back into sport when you get a cramp. And we have a lot of other products coming. We have our Sweet Heat chips that are Rosie's the Riveter, Rosie Sweet Heat rivet tops. We have Betty Bama's bread and butter bombs. They're coming. It's all in slice form. We got Smoke Jumpers fire chips. We got our Sammy's sandwich mines, which are our dills. But we got special recipe and apple cider vinegar flavor that you might only be able to get online very soon. We've got a sour punch for our Navy guys, Sailor Sour Punch. We've got, for all you fire-breathing dragons, Colonel Cuke's Nukes. 3 of the hottest peppers on earth in there for you. You'll have the warning label. It's on you. It'll burn your eyebrows off when you open up and smell the brine. Your nose hairs will fry. And you'll be spitting flames. I promise you, the character that we're developing for that, if you remember Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall's character on the beachhead.
Yeah.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like our guy says, I love the smell of brine in the morning. Smells like freedom, So he's going to be that character. I didn't bring a jar in here. Unfortunately, I can run and go get one quick.
So,
but there's our
grab
guy.
that jar.
But we honor the military with our little labels, and we give a portion of our proceeds back to veteran causes and different community causes based on. We do it by the quarter, so we're not married to just anybody. We like to spread it around, so we give to cancer to kids as well. But we're a 3-tier mission company. And where's that thing at? I had it over here somewhere.
And we're going to collaborate on a pickle beer too, right?
Pickle beer. We're doing a moonshine. We got popcorn coming. We got moonshine candies. We've got all kinds of pickle products coming. We got Merck over there on the website. But we're a 3-tier mission to make the best tasting, number 1, crunchiest, and healthiest pickle on the market. Number 2, to give back to veterans through giving a portion of the proceeds. And number 3, all of our canneries are very basic and simple. It's all done by hand. We're setting them up like military operations. So we're going to get our in-need veterans, homeless, ones that are going through problems with possible suicide and PTSD. And we're going to get those folks in, put them in an environment that's just like they remember in the military. And what happens is they're around like-minded thinkers, and it's run like the military from a first formation. They get to go do PT on us on the clock for an hour, go exercise, come back, we eat breakfast together, and then you go to work for 8 hours. If you need a pickle break, we're going to have a therapist on the site that you say, boss, I need a pickle break. Go have it. No questions asked. And we'll help them heal. 3-tier mission. Now they sign up for 10 years. They get an enlistment paper for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they got to re-enlist. They can either stay with us, and we're having a retirement program for our veterans, probably our other employees too. We're still in the growing stages of that. And they can stay with us 20 years and retire, or 30, whatever. And then if they want to be a farmer, like a goat farmer, or they want to grow carrots or whatever, we will partner with them. We'll buy up the operation, set them up. We'll collect whatever percentage. We haven't determined how much from them back to us, but we're going to set them up all over the country so we can take back farming in this country with good whole food, lock out these big farms that are industrial farms trying to take over and ruin our food, one veteran, family-owned farm at a time.
And where can everybody go to your website? What's the URL, domain?
www.freedompickles.com. Again, freedompickles.com. Check us out, sign up, subscribe. When you go there, if you give us your email, you'll get, I think, 5 or 10% off, something like that, your order. We run specials. If you join the Pickle Club, that's a great deal. You get a jar of pickles every month of whatever flavor you want from what we have. And you get 5% off any other additional orders. And you get like enlistment papers. You get your rank. You get a hat. You get a T-shirt. You get a pickle swag item. You get a lot of stuff. But when you re-enlist a year later, first you start out as a pickle trooper. Then you're a pickle trooper second class. Then you're a pickle trooper first class. Then you're a pickle corporal. Then you're a pickle brine sergeant. Then you're a pickle staffing sergeant. Or I think we're going to call it a jarring sergeant. We're working the ranks right now. Then you're going to be a pickle sergeant first in classes or whatever it is, all the way up through sergeant major. Then we'll start officer ranks. We try to have a fun brand, inclusive to everybody. When you write a first Google review, let's say you join the Pickle Club and you taste our Firework Frenzy or whatever, or new pickle or some new flavor we're doing, you go be our reviewer. You're our taste test guys. And when you go leave a Google review, you earn a medal, a pickle medal that we're going to have and we'll send to you, and you get this pickle medal to wear or a patch or something that you'll wear on your jacket. So we're trying to be a fun brand. A lot of the stuff we got from our good friends here at Armed Forces Brewing Company. So good, great minds think alike. I got to tell you, the preamble is going down very smooth tonight. I'm a survivalist, Alan. I packed away multiple cases of beer in my stockpile. I'm down to one. You know I love cat shot, so I'm down to one case of cat shot. I'm saving for Christmas and New Year's, but I got plenty of preamble, and I love preamble.
We got preamble coming out, but I want to jump in here real quick because you and I were just together here a couple weeks ago in Arlington,
let's start
Texas.
answering these questions. Yeah,
yeah. We'll go to some questions here too, but
okay.
I came. EJ called me. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to be in Dallas." I said, "Well, let's link up. What do you got going on?" He said, "The biggest pickle fest in the country or something like that." And I went, "Oh, cool." The Big Dill.
The Big Dill.
I said, "Oh, cool. Okay, well, I'll come out there and let's get set up, and I'll hang out with you." So I went there, and just being here to Texas, it was at Arlington Live, which is this complex. They've got all the big sports bars.
Jerry's World.
Jerry, is that what it is? And,
well, he's got the Dallas Cowboys Stadium there.
Yeah.
You got the Texas Stadium. You got whoever runs that complex. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is. And so we're there and we're getting set up. It's going to be a big festival and all that kind of stuff.
Globe Life Field.
And you told me, oh, yeah, they got 8,000 tickets and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, 8,000 people. Dude, there must have been 20,000 people there. There weren't no 8,000 people there. People, Pickles is a cult, you guys. I'm telling you. Yeah. Everybody there like I said, there was more than 8,000 people there. There had to have been. But everyone was dressed up. They were
sneaking in somehow.
Holy crap. They were lined up to get in and taste pickles at Freedom Pickles.
We moved 400 jars that day and all kinds of merchandise. We had these pickle rave hats that were a big hit because they do a pickle rave. And we learned a lot because it was our first Big Dill event. So when we do another one, we're gonna do it even better. We'll be more efficient. We'll know what we're dealing with and what we're going to show up with. So we're going to do it way better next time.
You had the best activation tent there, though. You had the best one there and the best.
We looked like a fireworks stand, didn't we?
It totally did. It was patriotic and pickle.
Everybody was green or yellow or white with green letters. When you walked through that Big Dill Arc, you looked over and you seen Uncle Sam in the monster truck up on top of our 3 tents, and you knew what the hell's going on over there. And it really threw people off because their eyes are not expecting to see red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
At a pickle fest, and so they didn't know what we were, and then they had to start we had to start raking them in, and but they
everything
do now,
else was white
and
green.
They're going to be looking. Yeah, and so we're trying to bring back patriotism and freedom, the love of freedom and patriotism through one pickle crunch at a time. We want to have a jar of our pickles in every refrigerator at every single barbecue and on every picnic table across this country. And I know we will. And here's the other thing. Our pickles are jarred, but they taste like fermented pickles. And the big guys can't figure out how we're doing that because it's on a 2-year shelf life. And don't worry, big boys. We got a fermented pickle too. Ooh, we learned how to do that. And so when we get in the refrigerator section with those guys, we're not trying to put anybody out of business. That's not what we're about. We're about making the best product that's healthy for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a fun product, and it makes you love America. And it's got nothing to do with blue Kool-Aid drinkers or red rhinoceroses over here or elephants or whatever you want to say. We are a brand of patriots for a love of country. Yes, we're veteran owned, but we want you in our pickle jar. We want you to come be a part of us and get ready, because soon you might be able to, because we're taking a little playbook action out of Armed Forces Brewing Company, and we're going to have a shareholder offering very, very soon.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to miss it, because you want to get in the pickle jar with us and own a piece of the pickle, because we're going to be blowing up very, very soon. And you're going to want to follow our website, freedompickles.com, and over at Instagram, Freedom Pickles USA, and Facebook, Freedom Pickles USA. Please go follow us. We need the social media following to grow. We are moving leaps and bounds. It's a miraculous what 6 hardworking people can do. I mean, our Florida crew is big. My CEO partner, Jason, his wife, his daughter, and her best friend, Ella. And we got our guy, Anthony, up in New York, who's kind of our bookworm guy doing the paperwork. And then in North Carolina, we've got a big crew. Me, myself, and I. I have driven over close to 60,000 miles this year and have been on the road by Christmas almost 300 days.
Yeah.
Attending events, going
All
to
over.
meetings, getting this brand out there, showing up day in and day out. I live and breathe this brand to almost my detriment. If you want to get involved with us, shoot us a message at freedompiclesusa@gmail. If you're interested as an investor, now's the time to get in before we do this stock offering, where we can send you the business plan and you can come partner with us. We are looking for even low-level investors at a certain level. I'll be very transparent. It's not less than about 100K, but we will consider all options, and we are breaking those up even smaller if we need to, depending who you are and what you're bringing to the table. We're willing to talk at this point, because we have to keep this going. The momentum has to keep going, and we can't slow down for anyone. And people keep telling me, you can't make your pickles this way in mass. Well, the other guys take shortcuts because they don't want to ice. They don't want to not use dyes or ferment agents because time is money to them. They conveyor belt these pickles. They put crap in your bodies. We will not do it that way. I have a battle plan to spread across this country. I have the country cut up in 9 regions. We'll have a cannery that we call Outpost, whatever. Outpost Bragg in North Carolina. Outpost Lone Star in Texas. And their canneries set up like military spots. But we're gonna have our own trucks to deliver our own products. When we get a web order that comes in, the headquarters sends it down to each region to save us money on shipping, to help you, the shareholders, out. Keep making money. So we've got a plan for growth. When people tell me I can't do something, that makes me get fired up, and I'm going to do it to spite you.
Yep. It sure does.
So don't tell me, Mr. Shark. I've even applied for Shark Tank, and I'm ready to go, because I want to see Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban and Damon and all the others. And I want to step up, because they ain't seen no one like me come through that door yet. Because as soon as I get there, I'm going to let them know, hey, what's going on, Sharks? We're Freedom Pickles, blah, 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 blah. And before we get started and seeing about your offer, Mark Cuban, you're out. What does the rest of you Sharks have to offer?
Freedom Pickles, checking all the boxes. I'm telling you, I've had the product. It is incredible. America's best pickle. I'm not kidding. Freedom Pickles. EJ, thanks for being on the Red Friday podcast, my brother. I love you to death. And America loves you.
And folks, and if you want some motivation like you're seeing here, and you need a kick in the ass, a big 13 wide in your keister, go to Amazon and get my book, Die Trying.
There you go.
It'll motivate you to fire up like this. Look at this guy, 60 years old. Where's the energy come from? Hey, eat pickles, drink Armed Forces Brewing Company beer, and just love life. Get the book. It's on Amazon, along with the Ultimate Survival Guide.
EJSnyder.com, right?
You can go to EJSnyder.com. All the links are there as well.
Awesome. All right, my brother.
I'm sorry
Thank
we
you
didn't get
so
to any
much,
questions.
everybody.
We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do this again.
Basically, they need to go to your website because maybe the questions are where are they sold? Where can I get the pickles at?
Freedompickles.com. Let's go.
Yeah. Do it.
Tell them Armed Forces Brewing Company sent you.
All right, buddy. Have a great one. Merry Christmas
You have a great
to you
weekend,
and your
Alan.
family, and happy belated birthday, bud. And Freedom
And
Pickles.
send me a link to this so I can put it up on my Facebook page.
You got it. Absolutely. All right, brother. Everybody, go
All
to
right.
Freedom Pickles.
America!
Go to EJSnyder.com. EJ, final thoughts.
Freedompickles.com.
You.
Let's go.
Thanks, America.